3 ready to get underway here at the Houston Nationals Showcase from December the 29th, 2012. Kylie Holmesley will take the ball for the green team. She'll take the start. Vanessa Castro will lead it off for the teal team. Both teams playing in their second game today. As a reminder to college coaches watching, if you would like more information on a player, it's as simple as clicking on their name from the roster. We have instructions here on the showcase page for you to look at that'll help you do that much easier and allocate a different window for player rosters versus the player's video that you're watching right now. Holmesley out of Cedar Creek, Texas, near Austin. And it appears that ball went off of Castro's foot. And Reagan Williams, as usual, making a really clean transfer, making a really accurate throw. So far, our Lime team has showed a really good left side of the infield with the combinations of Reagan Williams at third base and Anastasia Labus at short, or Marley Board at shortstop. Both shortstops have played exceptional today. Marley Boyd behind the plate here for the start of game number 3. Lindsay Taylor out of Nederland, Texas will be our next batter. She's starting at shortstop for the teal team this game. And what's been really interesting so far is exactly how much action that Reagan Williams is getting at third base compared to everybody else. Now, she's creating a lot of that opportunity by being aggressive and going to her forehand side and making plays with good lateral range, but it's interesting how the ball finds somebody that needs to be seen at times. Labus at short, giving coaches another reason to like her. Always looking to throw behind a runner. Plenty of confidence to do it. Plenty of arm strength to do it. Plenty of accuracy to do it the right way as well. Not a big risk for her to throw behind a runner. Abby Poe steps in for the teal team. Poe, an All-American in 2012, made the trip to Akron, Ohio. That was actually Poe's first action back from a knee injury that kept her out the majority of the summer. Showing no signs of any sort of hangover from the knee injury. We've got numbers that back that up. The overhand velocity has increased. Poe's best running time was actually tied a few weeks ago in Austin. So it doesn't appear to be any speed concerns or any lingering effect from the knee injury. And somewhat quietly, Crystal Requejo at first base has had a good day and done some things that have really helped contribute. Fairly unassuming at first base, but does a nice job overall. One of those types of players you have to see a few times to really appreciate what she does and how consistent that she is. But, you know, type of kid that just shows up in the right place at the right time, gets clutch hits. And with Ryder Reed at the plate, probably the disconnection between her swing and her slap right now is the fact that during her swing, she just loses a little bit of movement compared to her slap when she's moving the entire time. That's probably why the comfort level on the swing isn't quite as high as it is when she goes through the slap or the bunt from the left side. About 50 degrees at game time for game number 3. Overcast. And Labus with plenty of arm to get the speedy Ryder headed to first base. And we'll head to the bottom of the first inning. Lindsey Taylor able to get on base for the Till team, but nothing doing as we head to the bottom of the first scoreless. Caitlin Bertot will be in the circle. Erica Berman handling the catching duties again for Bertot. Berman, our only uncommitted senior here today, our only senior. And Bertot will face Aubrey Spasic to lead it off for the Till team. And that's an almost identical pitch to the same one that Hannah Parker led off Aubrey Spasic with in game number 1 today against the Red team. Obviously not the type of pitch that Spasic wants to see coming off of an ankle injury. But she's not as mobile as usual. Good look at the changeup by Bertot there. Probably the best pitch she's thrown all day. But as we discussed in game number 2, as Bertot stays loose and stays fluid, she's highly effective. It's only when she gets tight and tense and starts to cut her pitches off a little bit and lose the whip and the sequencing and the throwing elbow that she starts to lose the ball down in the zone or leave it over the plate to be hit. And Spasic aboard for the green team here in the bottom of the first. Even with the ankle injury, Spasic still a threat to steal a base. She can take that one standing up. And it looks like the pattern that Berman's trying to use on a left-handed hitters is going inside and then working away from them. Not a bad idea. Something that's become more popular. Kennedy crease at the plate, not as likely as some other left-handed hitters to allow the inside pitch to really affect her. If you watch Kennedy, as she begins to go through her drop step and her crossover, she creates a really strong leaning action towards first base, which really opens up the inner half of the plate. That's why we've seen Crease several times today just foul the ball off on the outside edge of the plate, but be able to put the ball in play when it's middle in and not necessarily have to pull the ball in that situation. At times, Crease will hold on to the angles of the wrist as she runs away from the plate on the ball that's outside. As she does this, she hits a little bit more foul balls than you would like to see. If she can learn to go ahead and release and trust that she's going to make contact, she might roll over the top and bounce the ball and increase the on-base percentage a little bit more like that action that we saw right there. She seems less comfortable doing that, but overall in the scheme of her being a high on-base percentage type leadoff two-hole hitter, I think that's in the best interest for her. Good pickup and a good throw by Berman there. They probably have a shot at the runner if we're on the bag. And a nice pickup by Logan Grotto in left field. Nice running grab. Outfielders defensively do have the toughest job today. It's cold, it's windy, and the ball's being knocked down a lot more than they think it is. And they're having to deal with some slappers that are putting some in-between type pop on the ball that's really allowing it to die in the wind a little bit more. So those running catches come in are just that much more difficult today. Tana Huey at the plate for the Lime team. Huey got things going early for the green team with a couple of hits. Drew a walk in the first game. Spasic will hold it third there. Even if the ankle was 100%, I'm not sure that she would have been able to score on that, with the ball bouncing back from the mat pretty quickly. Huey again spoiling a good pitcher's pitch. Something she's done all day long. And for coaches watching, it's almost exciting to see how just dangerously close Huey is to connecting on those pitches. If you watch her front leg, she just doesn't always stay as firm as she can on the front heel, which would allow the front knee to rotate a little bit more, which would allow the front hip to rotate, which would allow the hips to clear and allow her to really square up that ball in the outside half of the plate. Got a ton of strength. Good idea by Bertot and Berman there. Almost had Huey biting on the changeup. Even in the warm-up swings, you see with Huey just a front heel and the front knee action. Keeps the front knee coiled on the start. Fairly easy adjustment to make. We'll see Huey throughout the year and recommend this adjustment at the plate. See how it can change her a little bit. Already a pretty big time prospect. Breaks the FSR top 50. Obviously a tough out here. Count full to Huey. And unfortunately, the at-bat will end in a walk to Huey. Excellent at-bat. And when we talk to hitters about making a pitcher work and fouling pitches off, that's exactly what you try to do right there, is making sure that you get them to the point where they're stressed out about throwing the ball over the plate, where it really affects their delivery. And Lave is hitting probably the deepest ball that we've seen all day long. That ball is well clear of the fence down the right field line. Misses a home run to the opposite field just by about 12 or 13 feet. Mary Beth Gorsuch at the plate, 2016 pitcher out of Louisville, Texas. Gorsuch will play some first base and some outfield today. Very complete player. And Gorsuch able to dump that ball in front of Castro in right field. For the Till team, the right field spot today has really been a pitcher spot. So we're not seeing pure outfielders out there. There's been a couple of balls misplayed, and that's simply the fact that there's a couple of pitchers that are filling in as outfielders for the Till team today. Alexis Greathouse at the plate for the green team. Bertot finding her rhythm again. Made a good pitch to Gorsuch too. Just didn't have anything to show for it. And gets back in rhythm and takes us to the top half of the second inning. The green team scores twice. Leaves a runner at second base. As we head to the top of the second, it's 2-0. Green over Till. Sydney Springfield will lead it off for the Till team. Springfield has swung the bat well today so far. Springfield definitely one of the better overall hitting prospects that we've come across. Already making around as a player of interest at several major Division I programs. And a line shot out to her teammate on the Texas Glory, Mary Beth Gorsuch, playing in left, showing that she does way more than just pitch. Now to bring up Kirsten Thomas out of Houston, Texas, 2014. You get a good look at Tana Huey's arm from center field there. Huey was up to 62 miles per hour overhand today, up from 60 just a couple of weeks ago. Huey in center field beginning to work on a little bit different arm action to get on top of the ball. And it's already paid dividends, as now she's at 62 miles per hour instead of 60. Only a sophomore, plenty of time to get into the mid-60s. And Berman and Thomas have back-to-back hits for the Till team, with one out here in the top half of the second inning. And that'll bring up J.C. Allen, the 2016 third baseman, second baseman, out of Roanoke, Texas, and Byron Nelson High School. one of the more aggressive swings that we've seen out of J.C. Allen today. Thomas easily able to take third base, kept her feet in rhythm, good secondary actions, and just continued along her way to second base as soon as, or to third base, as soon as the ball was in the dirt. Got about 2 runners in scoring position for Allen. As Allen gets a little bit stronger, I would expect that the front leg will firm up just a little bit, and that will allow the barrel to stay through the zone a little bit longer. Instead of hitting over to the ground ball, hitting a 1 or 2 hopper through the infield, I'd expect Allen to be able to drive that ball into the gap a little bit more. And a good job by Labus there to eat that ball. She had no play at either base. It's a wise decision from a young shortstop that's trying to come out and prove herself, just to hold on to the ball. Too often we'd see a kid jump up and try to make that play, and there's really nothing good that can come out of it. If you pull your first baseman off at that point, with Allen having pretty good speed going into second base, if you pull your first baseman a step or 2 off the bag, then you're going to be in a runners at first and third situation. Logan Grotto, the hitter for the Till team, fouls that one off her left foot. Reagan Williams already getting excited at third base again, anticipating the ball as the catcher's set up inside. With the way that Williams has played defense today, if I'm a catcher and pitcher, I don't know if I do anything but keep the ball inside the right-handed batters. And Crease just having a little bit of trouble getting that ball out of the glove. Keely Thompson will step in with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. Thompson of 2016. Thompson attends Texas City High School. In this situation as a hitter, really what you want to try to do is make sure, if you see a pitcher just throwing the ball in the dirt, you've got to make sure that she elevates the ball and elevates it to where you know you're going to have a pretty good pitch to hit. And Crease makes amends for the last ground ball hit to her where she couldn't make the exchange, goes back on that fly ball nicely. No damage done as of yet. Castro steps in from Austin, Texas. And Tana Huey in that situation just getting a little bit too much of a three-quarter arm action on that ball. You see that's why it kind of drifts off on her and tails off on her pretty hard. But that's the arm action that she's trying to correct, that we saw a little bit earlier on the base hit where she made a good throw into second base, got right over the top, but there she's just leaving the fingers behind the ball a little bit too long and creating that extra tailing effect on the ball. Till team now up 4-2 after the RBI single by Vanessa Castro. Lindsay Taylor at the plate. And Taylor will reach on an error to the shortstop, tack on a run to increase the lead to 5-2 from the Till team. Second hard hit ground ball that Taylor's had in this game. A lot of barrel action from Taylor as she hits. And Crease will have that to end the top half of the second inning. Caitlin Bertot back on for her second inning of work here in game number 3 from the Houston National Showcase in Spring, Texas at Spring High School. Marley Boyd will lead off the bottom of the second for the green team. Boyd's done a really good job behind the plate today, done an outstanding job at shortstop, where she just keeps getting better every single time that we see her. And it looks like with Boyd today at the plate, had a really good BP session. She's hit the ball very well the last couple of times that we've seen her. She's just giving into her bat speed quite a bit at the plate right now. Nice accurate throw from Lindsay Taylor. Lindsay plays the ball from the ground up just about as good as you can. Young prospect, still raw. Plenty of room to improve, plenty of upside to do it with. But on Marley Boyd's swing, the bat speed hasn't been there today. It was here earlier in BP, but it's a little bit like she's trying to force the ball a little bit too much and not just opening up and taking a swing. Springfield not quite able to dig that ball out of the dirt. Requejo does get down the line in the low threes. Taylor rushed that throw just a little bit, had a little bit more time than she thought she did. And with one out in the bottom of the second, that'll bring up Reagan Williams. Williams has definitely been a standout so far today. Coming off of a successful Des Moines, Iowa regional in September 2012. Plays travel ball for the Minnesota Steam. And a good job by Taylor to be on the inside of the baseline there to give Springfield plenty of room to throw. Springfield with an arm in the mid-60s currently. Really good arm action. And again, I have to point out the job that Erica Berman's done behind the plate, handling several different pitchers. The first time that she's seen every single one of these kids. And she's been able to block the ball, and she's made some pretty good backhand plays as well. Thrown the ball pretty well. Added a solid base hit last inning. I would not expect that Berman stays on the market too long after coaches watch her at the Houston National Showcase. And the exciting thing about Berman is that she still has a lot of refinement and polish that a good staff can put on a kid like this. Seems like the physical tools are all in order. Velocity picking up for Bertot as she's in rhythm here. And Abby Poe, consistent as always at second base. Definitely somebody I would want the ball hit to if I was a pitcher and in a situation where I need a ground ball to get out of the inning. Ryder Reed from Plano, Texas, a 2015 outfielder, will lead it off for the Teal team in the top of the third. Summer Harper on the pitch for the Green team. Harper's a 2016 pitcher out of Cypress, Texas. And one of the things that Reed can possibly do to really maximize her speed and her ability to get on base is she's really calm with the footwork on the slap. And especially if she's going to a bunt like that, the steps are very, very short. They're a little bit choppy. She really needs to get down into her legs and drive herself out of the box to create that momentum. A lot of times slappers don't feel comfortable doing that, but the end result is that you want the barrel to stay behind your hands. And there's no better way to do that than by creating separation from the body and the hands during the slapping motion. And even in situations like that, ultimately what it does is it allows the defense to play with a little bit more pressure. Even though you can't really increase your speed overnight, you can increase how you use your speed in the box pretty easily. Springfield up now for the Teal team. I think two players that mirror each other a little bit on the hitting side that we're seeing today. Tana Huey for the Green team and Sydney Springfield from the Teal team, both having a slight issue with the front knee, not getting all the way open, not staying as firm on it as they can. And that's why when you watch Springfield hit right now, there's a ton of power there. But there's also a ton of power that she's not realized yet because the front leg is not taking on all of the energy, allowing her to really transfer all the energy she's created into the bat head. When this happens, that she's going to be one of the best hitters that we've ever seen. In comparing Springfield to somebody that we've seen come through the program at a similar age in the same grade, we'll look at Justice Perry, who's actually a teammate of Reagan Williams on the Minnesota Sting right now. But Justice committed to Arizona State. Perry's a 2016 as Reagan Williams picks off Springfield at second base. And again, the instincts of Reagan Williams doesn't even have to look. As soon as the ball is hit, she makes her throw, even to the point where you see Williams have a small drop step with the left foot so that she can receive the ball behind her hips so that her hips are already open so that she makes a better throw to second base. Those aren't the types of instincts you find on average everyday 2015 third baseman. That's what you see on high-level major Division I defensive third baseman. And back to the conversation about Springfield and Justice Perry. Perry, a 2016 plays shortstop right now, probably projects as a corner infielder, first base or corner outfielder at the next level. But Perry was in that same situation as Springfield, the same type of build. And then Perry's lower half really sets her apart from a lot of 2016s. And if Springfield's able to have a lower half that acts like Justice Perry, she's going to have every bit of success that Perry will at the next level. Nice backhand play, plenty of arm by Marley Boyd, and as we've come to expect from her, an accurate throw right across the infield to first base. Vanessa Castro on for the Till team. Will get her first action in game number 3 of the Houston National Showcase from Spring, Texas. The players that are here today come from several different regional showcase events. Players attending today's event come from the Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Des Moines, Iowa, and St. Louis regional showcase events. On the schedule right now, there are 3 other national showcase events that will take place in June of 2013. Chicago, Illinois, Atlanta, Georgia, and Dallas, Texas. The purpose of any event that we do is obviously for the purpose of scouting players and giving college coaches important feedback and data on players and video evidence of what they're doing. And as I talked a little bit about in game 2, the showcase process for players now is a very difficult proposition, as Holmesley's going to fly out to Castro in the circle for 1 out. It's a difficult proposition now because you have a lot of players that are hoping to be recruited or to be seen for the first time amongst another 1,000 kids at a time. And so what we're trying to do is provide a platform for players to be seen in a smaller group, but for that smaller group to be seen by everybody. And for the players that are here who have advanced past a regional showcase, they've already seen the benefits of being able to play in a regional showcase that hundreds of college coaches will watch every time one comes out. And now they take it a step farther where they're playing in a national showcase where we're filming games and providing information on players for college coaches, to where it's no different than if a college coach were in the stands watching versus watching from their office. When it's 50 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour winds, I can assure you that the coaches that are watching today from their office would much rather do it from their office than be in Houston, Texas on December the 29th. And so in effect what happens, that these players are in a quiet period, or the coaches are in a quiet period through the NCAA, so they're not able to watch, but these players are able to come out and be seen by hundreds or thousands of coaches. 2 down for Kennedy Crease. Crease from the St. Louis Regional Showcase. St. Louis Regional Showcase, we ran 2 sessions. Several players advancing to the national level. And even in watching Crease in a practice swing, one of the things you're going to see Crease improve, and I think this will happen as she gets into a conditioning program as she gets older, that you're going to see the top hand and top forearm strength improve, and that's going to go a long way in making sure that she's able to control the ball and spin it and bounce it a little bit better from the left side of the plate. As a right-handed thrower, she's very front arm dominant right now. And that's why you're able to see her get to certain positions but not always execute the ability to stay on top of the ball. It's something that she probably will be able to do. Right there is a good example of it. And an excellent job by Sydney Springfield, who's new to third base today, but showing off the arm and beautiful arm action there. The good stretch by Bertot at first base. Summer Harper back to work for her second inning of work in the Houston National Showcase. Game number 3 here in the top of the 4th. J.C. Allen will lead it off for the Till team. And while we've got a minute, players who are interested in attending a national showcase, you have to start at a regional showcase. That's where we provide the first video look of you to coaches. Be able to have a scouting report and get your scouting index measured. From there, you can be invited to a national showcase. The regional showcases are easy to register for. It's open enrollment. Several of these take place on college campuses across the country. But the camps are open enrollment. 8th graders through 12th graders are able to participate. And there's Reagan Williams again. Diving catch to her left, able to have plenty enough arm strength. And when you throw 64 miles per hour, you can afford to do this because you've got plenty of arm strength to get it across. Williams, obviously one of the better third basemen that you're going to find nationally with the glove. Still working on getting the power numbers up from the right side of the plate. But Williams showing why she's got the reputation of a defensive stopper at third base with coaches around the country. Harper taking a little bit off of that one. Labus moves behind the plate to catch Harper. Labus does a good job behind the plate, probably profiles out as a third baseman at the next level. Still not ruling out her ability to play shortstop at the next level. A lot of that will ultimately depend on her range. Her arm strength will be fine. But we'll have to see how much range that she actually has in a year or two at shortstop. Safe bet to be able to play third base. And as I talked about Justice Perry earlier, the 2016 that just committed to Arizona State recently, Labus compared to where Justice Perry was at the same time, Labus is a much better hitter, a much more complete player. And Williams has it, and that'll send us to the bottom of the 4th. Till still up 5-2 over the green team. Vanessa Castro will take the ball for her second inning of work in game number 3. Tana Huey will lead it off for the green team. Huey with a couple of hits, couple of walks. Huey having some of the better at-bats today. Saw several pitches in her last at-bat before drawing a walk. Coaches have a lot of reasons to be excited about Huey. As the arm strength increases, you can definitely put her in the category as a 5-tool kid. Part of a very exciting outfield group that we recently saw in the Austin Regional Showcase that we feel like have a very bright future at the next level. Some of the other outfielders that were there, Cheyenne Thompson, who recently broke into the Fastpitch scouting report top 20 at 67 miles per hour overhand with big time power at the opposite field. And Poe will put that one in her pocket. Huey, too much speed, is a 2.6 runner. And coaches, remember, if you want to get specific information about players, the easiest way to do that, click on the roster and click on a player's name. You'll find any information you need about every player that you see today. And Labe is starting to show signs of coming around at the plate. She just missed a home run a few at-bats ago. down the right field line. Hit a ball about 220 feet, but just missed the corner by about 12 feet wide. Gorsuch at the plate for the green team. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. Erica Berman again behind the plate, making a nice play. Berman dealing with 4 different pitchers today. And Huey will make it in. As Gorsuch able to get that ball through the infield. Abby Poe slightly out of position at shortstop. We played her at shortstop in the Austin Regional Showcase to mainly test out how the leg was doing. Passed all tests there. Alexis Greathouse at the plate for the green team. As we talked about in Game 1, Greathouse really stood out as one of the better power hitters in the Houston Regional Showcase earlier this fall, amongst a really good group of kids, and especially a really good group of power hitters that she was in the mix with that day. We'll see some of those other hitters in the Dallas National Showcase in June. And you see from 2 young power hitting prospects there as Gorsuch and Labus able to tag up and advance a base. And I really feel like when you see Labus in a year or two, you're going to see somebody that's not running a low 3. You're going to see a kid that's running a high 2.8 or a low 2.9 at that point. And you have to love the instincts with the kid who's an 8th grader, who's playing with a lot of players 2-3 years older than she is, and she comes out without a third base coach, tags up on a shallow hit ball to right field, and is able to score. One of the things we have to look at with players is instincts versus things you can be taught to do. And the instincts that Labus shows are things that, for all accounts, are typically unteachable. You can work all day long on teaching runners to tag up in certain situations, but to have an 8th grader be able to execute that and know the situation right away, that's really big time for us. And within every category that we grade out to formulate a player scouting index, we have to look in those specific situations and understand how the instincts play a factor into it. A kid cannot just be a batting practice champ or a home run derby champ in BP and still receive a high scouting index if we haven't seen them show the skills and the instincts in live situations that allow us to make that call. It's too important for us to get it right. Base is empty now for Requejo. 3-1 count. Score tied at 5 apiece. Bottom of the 4th with 2 outs. And Castro able to run the count full with the screwball inside. Requejo on again at first base. Thompson not able to come up with the ball in right field. And that'll bring up Reagan Williams from Maple Grove, Minnesota, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Williams has been all over the place at third base today with the glove. Made several good plays. And Castro doing a good job of making good pitches. Defense just giving a couple of extra outs this inning so far. But Castro's doing her job nicely. Summer Harper at the plate. Nice backhanded pickup by Caitlin Bertot at first base. Castro might disagree with that one, and I might have her side in that situation. And that'll end the bottom of the 4th. Green does tie it up at 5 apiece as we head to the top of the 5th. Mary Beth Gorsuch back in the circle for the green team. Keely Thompson will lead it off for the Teal. And Gorsuch has looked a little bit better each time that she's come out. This being our 3rd different look at Mary Beth. And I believe that might be the first changeup that we've seen all day from Gorsuch, so a good sign that the hand's feeling a little bit better. Rise ball showing a little bit more life there. Thompson able to lay off the drop ball. And it looked like in that situation, Gorsuch probably executed the exact pitch that she wanted to make with the curveball there. Just, didn't get the call. Didn't get Thompson to bite. Maybe a better 2-2 location versus a 3-2 location. Castro steps in for the Teal team. Not able to check her swing. And you can tell the pitcher has pretty good life on the ball when good hitters start to cheat on it a little bit, like Castro did there. And this is something that you really like to see out of catchers and pitchers. Catchers and pitchers making their own decisions on what they think is going to work. And absolutely, the last pitch is a result of what they saw in the first pitch. As Gorsuch goes off the plate to waste one there. We'll see if she goes back inside on Castro. Spasic with the play in left. And in that situation, you probably don't want to slow the ball down, which will speed the hitter's bat up. When Castro is showing signs of really having to jump at the ball early, all that you do when you throw the changeup in that situation is give them a better chance to hit anything that you're throwing. And Castro put a pretty good swing on it. Lindsey Taylor steps in and is late on the first pitch from Gorsuch. One out in the top of the fifth. Gets that ball in on the hands of Taylor. And the count's quickly 0-2. Regional showcase events will start back up in early February as Gorsuch gets Taylor to swing at the rise ball for 2 outs. Abby Poe now up. Runner at first. 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Snap throw back to first from Marley Boyd, not in time. Regional showcase will resume the start of February, with trips to the Midwest, Southwest, Southeast, California back on the list again. Saw a really good group in California back on December the 15th up in Palmdale. Excited to go back out for a 2-day showcase to see more kids and to get an extended look. And Crease will have that one for the 3rd out of the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Green and Till still tied up at 5 apiece. Keely Thompson will be back in the circle for the Till team. Kylie Holmesley out of Cedar Creek, Texas, will lead it off for the green team. Kylie, a 2016 pitcher. Taylor at short, Allen at third. J.C. Allen with the play at third base. And that's exactly what Spasic is here to show today. Able to stay on top of the ball, put it past a good third baseman and Allen at third. Even with the hurt ankle, Spasic still a threat to go. And with 2 outs, Tana Huey will step back into the plate. And Berman's made some pretty good throws today. Just hasn't had a middle infielder to find the bag a couple of times at second base. Made a really good throw that probably would have gotten Spasic stealing third base earlier on a ball in the dirt. So Berman's really done her job back there pretty nicely. She's made some throws that in other circumstances that are probably more familiar with infielders that she's used to working with that know her better, probably would have been on the bag to make those plays. And it looked like Huey beat that out, but that'll send us to the top of the 6th. As Poe's able to recover after the deflection of Thompson to still get the out. Mary Beth Gorsuch on for her second inning of work here in Game 3. Greathouse, Labus, Crease, and Requejo, your infield. Ryder Reed to lead it off for Till, the 2015 outfielder out of Plano, Texas, and Plano High School. And now that all 9 fielders are in place, we can begin the top half of the 6th. With Reed, it really will come down to how much she's able to increase her motion in the box to make sure that she's running at full speed as soon as she can, making sure that she's attacking. And what a lot of slappers fail to realize is that they give up a lot of space on the box. It was pretty consistent with our California group that we had some above average runners, but what we were seeing is hitters that were making contact with the ball with 2 feet behind the front line of the batter's box. Gorsuch showing off her athleticism there. Gorsuch will be a definitely interesting prospect to watch over the next couple of years, and especially if she enters college. And I know that's a long ways off, but it'll be really interesting to see where she ends up, if she's going to go in as a position player or a pitcher. Either way, she's indexed very high. Faces off against Texas Glory teammate Sydney Springfield here. I'm sure this matchup has happened in practice a couple of times. One out in the top of the 6th. 2-0 count on Springfield. And you can see the effect of the wind right there. When a ball is misread by really good middle infielders like that, that gives you an idea of, at elevation, how much the wind is really whipping around. And the biggest thing that we found on the 29th was that the wind really wasn't blowing in any one consistent direction. A little power on power matchup here as Gorsuch goes upstairs to get Kirsten Thomas down in the count 0-1. Good job of Thomas of spoiling that low and outside pitch. And my first reaction to seeing Thomas at the Houston Regional earlier this year was simply the fact of, how is this kid not committed somewhere? And I think as coaches look at her and watch what she does, I think a lot of coaches are going to have that same opinion, and that things really ought to heat up on the recruiting side for Thomas over the next couple of weeks. Keely Thompson back out for the Till team in the bottom of the 6th inning. So we get a good look at Erica Berman's arm there to second base. Anastasia Labus will lead it off for the green team. Singled in her last at bat. Just missed a home run down the right field line earlier in the game. One of the best 2017 hitting prospects in the country. And she takes ball one, low and inside. And Labus will be able to stand that double to lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th. And definitely a lot to like about that kid. Maybe a good sign for Connie Clark and the Texas Longhorns right there, when you've got the best 2017 hitting prospect definitely in the state of Texas, maybe the nation, throwing up the horn sign at second base after a double. Who's also from Austin, Texas. Purely speculation by me. Labus, one of the young recruits that will have to get used to answering the question, where you want to go to school, with the talent that she has, that she'll start seeing players that are of similar age give commitments as early as next fall. Several of the 2016 commitments are now coming down. Alexis Greathouse, the hitter for Green. Still tied up here at the bottom of the 6th. 5 each. So we get a look at two really good prospects there in Springfield and Labus. 2-0, nobody out. Runners at second and third. Greathouse at the plate. And that will take care of the situation of the tie ball game. Good piece of hitting by Greathouse there to stay tilted, stay down on the ball in the lower outer third of the plate, and just hit the ball where it's pitched. Doesn't try to lift it too much. Excellent piece of hitting right there. Marley Boyd will hit with runners at first and third, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Infield plays in, looking for the runner at home. Greathouse easily takes second base. That'll put runners at second and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the sixth. Plenty of speed at third. A medium hit fly ball should score Gorsuch at third. And Thompson able to go upstairs and get the strikeout. Brings up Crystal Requejo. And all Requejo has done at Fast Pitch Scouting Reports event is just drive in run after run. And Green will go up 7-5 with Gorsuch scoring on the pass ball. Greathouse slides over to third. Kylie Holmesley back on to close it out for the green team here in the top of the seventh inning. Remember, we will play the bottom half of the inning no matter what. Gorsuch slides over to first. Crease at second. Boyd at short, and Reagan Williams back over at third base. Erica Berman will lead it off for Till. 2013 unsigned catcher out of Maypearl, Texas. Has had a really good showing today as well. First pitch swinging. And Marley Boyd there to take care of it. One pitch, one out. Never even a consideration to think about Marley Boyd making a bad throw. Always smooth, always accurate. And even though it's not a big kid, there's plenty of arm there at 63 to get the job done. And Reagan Williams will make her second play from her knees this game. Going across the infield. Again, you don't make that play if you don't have an arm that's 64 miles per hour like Williams does. And quickly, there's two outs here in the top of the seventh as Bertod bats. Holmesley misses inside. Not much that Reagan Williams hasn't done at third base yet. Marley Boyd equally as impressive at shortstop today. And Williams takes this ball away from Boyd too. I believe Boyd makes the play, but it's not going to have enough time to make that play. And you see the umpire even recognizing exactly what Williams has done there. And in the top of the seventh, this absolutely turned into the Reagan Williams show. Kirsten Thomas back on for the Till team in the bottom of the seventh. And I hate to be cliche, but of course the player that makes the outstanding plays in the top half of the inning is there to lead it off in the bottom half. Reagan Williams will lead it off for the Green. And Reagan Williams ought to be a household name amongst college coaches now after her play at third base today. And first pitch swinging. And heads up base running there by Williams. She'll stretch that into she'll take the extra base on the overthrow from right field. Summer Harper, the batter. Green has already secured the victory, but can tack on some runs here. As Harper is way behind that Thomas curveball. Players from today's National Showcase will be elected directly to the 2013 All-American Games. This year we moved the event to Nashville, Tennessee. Should be an excellent location. Takes place the week after Premier and ASA wrap up their team competitions. We had an excellent group last year in Akron, Ohio. Moved the event this year to be a little bit closer to the Missouri and Georgia kids who are actually playing high school ball and starting school much sooner than the rest of the country. Last year we actually had Georgia kids and Missouri kids who were having to miss high school games. And in Missouri they have rules that if you don't have a certain amount of practices in before the first game, you don't play. So we actually had Missouri kids having to serve and an excellent pickup by Keely Thompson to right. Shannon Hughes, who was an All-American last year out of Missouri, actually through the district had to serve a suspension for coming to All-American, but deemed it necessary. We're glad she did. Matter of fact, Hughes suffered a knee injury shortly thereafter that put her out of the high school season anyway. So the exposure she received from All-American last year was very much needed. But players will be taken directly out of this National Showcase to the All-American Games this year. The event to be played at Rose Park, downtown Nashville, Tennessee. It is the facility that Belmont plays at. A city-owned complex, very nice. Center field overlooks the skyline of downtown Nashville, Tennessee. 3-day event. And with 2 outs, Aubrey Spasic will go to work against Kirsten Thomas. Thomas singled past J.C. Allen in her last at bat. And as a final reminder to college coaches watching online, if you're interested in a player, all you have to do is click on a report. All their contact information, any historical information that we filed on that player is there. It's accessible. You don't have to pay to use it. Any information we provide on a player is there for a college coach to see. And any questions that coaches have about players, feel free to contact the office. And Erica Berman again showing a nice pickup behind the plate. It's all she's done all day is prevent pass balls. And Poe has it across the first base, and that'll wrap us up for game number 3 from the Houston National Showcase. We want to thank all the college coaches for watching. Any interested players who want to attend an event, make sure you attend a regional in 2013. And if you have any questions, feel free to call us or email us. All the information is on our website. This is Mark Mulvaney saying thanks again to everyone for watching. We'll see you again soon.